everybody, my name is Karleigh and this is my daughter Pallas. We're going to tell you a story about Pallas's older brother Quinn. Now Quinn has loved sandwiches since he was a little boy. He would eat them all the time if I let him. He would eat them for breakfast, for morning tea, for lunch, for afternoon tea, for dinner, dessert, supper. If he woke up in the middle of the night having a growth spurt, you can bet your bottom dollar he would ask for another sandwich. Please stop touching the computer, you're driving me so crazy. Okay. When Quinn was about to turn 6, we started planning his birthday party. We sent out 15 invitations by mail because we love getting mail. We love getting letters in the mail. And we were hoping that people would reply and tell us if they could come or if they couldn't come by putting a letter in the post and sending it to our letterbox. Okay? Quinn checked every day. There was no letters in our letterbox. But I did get 5 text messages. I did get 6 emails. And I got 2 people at school pickup tell me that they could come to Quinn's party. Quinn waited and waited.
On my phone? Why are you playing on my phone?
Hello, I'm just on the phone, pal. Shh. And anyway, so Quinn was still checking the mail, and there was a blue envelope sticking out of the mouth of the letterbox. His heart started to race. He ripped the envelope out of the mailbox and it was addressed to Quinn. "Mom!" he yelled. He ripped open the envelope and glitter and breadcrumbs exploded into his face. He coughed and he spluttered and he wiped the crumbs from his eyes and he opened up the letter which said, "Dear Quinn, congratulations, you are about to consume your 1 millionth sandwich. You are the first person in the world to eat this many. I hope you're ready for what's about to happen. Congratulations and happy birthday. Love from the Sandwich Fairy." "Mom!" he yelled. I ran outside, thinking he'd been run over. "What is it?" "I got a letter!" "Quinn, that's fantastic," I said. "It's from the Sandwich Fairy." "From the who?" "The Sandwich Fairy. It says I'm about to eat my 1 millionth sandwich." I've never heard of a Sandwich Fairy before. I had a look at the letter. I decided it must be a practical joke. Quinn didn't believe me, and I started to worry. I know Quinn has eaten a lot of sandwiches. If he really has nearly eaten 1 million sandwiches, what does that say about my mothering? I talked to his dad that night. "I think we should cut back on giving Quinn sandwiches," I said. "Why?" said Quinn's dad. "I just think he's had too much bread. Let's just give him fruit instead." "No, I think you're overthinking things," he said. I tried to believe what he said, but I was still very worried. Anyway, Quinn came up to me in the morning and he said, "Mum, I've been thinking about my birthday cake for the party. What about I have a giant peanut butter and jam sandwich instead of a cake?" "Well, it's your birthday if that's really what you want," I said. But inside, I just didn't want to give him any more sandwiches. Anyway, Quinn went and made himself a sandwich without me knowing. If I had known he was going to make a sandwich, I would have encouraged him to have a packet of biscuits or something. Quinn was sitting with his little sister Pallas and his cousin Ewan when he took the first bite of the peanut butter jam sandwich. I don't feel so good, said Quinn. Oh, my neck is burning. Suddenly, a lump came out of his neck and pop! Out grew another head. Mom! He screamed. I ran downstairs and I screamed when I saw him too. I was mortified. What on earth has happened? I'm calling an ambulance! I yelled. There's no need for that, a voice said. I turned around and there was what could only be described as the Sandwich Fairy. He was about this big. He was floating in midair, flapping his wings, which were made out of pieces of bread. And who are you? He said. You know who I am. And that's when I said, I'm calling the police. He said, no need to do that. I'm here to present your son with this. And he lifted up a giant crown made from pieces of bread. And he fluttered over and he put it on Quinn's heads. So he had 2 heads in this crown. He said, I now crown you the king of the sandwiches, specifically the peanut butter and jam sandwiches. It has been an honor to crown you this, Your Grace. I was speechless. Quinn, however, was beaming with joy. Mom, I'm the king of the sandwiches, he said. So how did this happen? I asked the Sandwich Fairy. How did you find us? How did you know about us? He said, well, Quinn just had a bite of his 1 millionth sandwich. I probably should have waited until he finished, but I was just so excited. No one in the world has ever eaten 1 million sandwiches before. I'm a terrible mother. Now he's got this deformity. I started to cry. It is not a deformity, the Sandwich Fairy scolded. It is a gift. Now your son has 2 brains and he has 2 mouths, which means he can spend less time eating and more time playing and stuff. Quinn nodded. He did have a point. Quinn, are you happy? I said. Yes, Mum. Please be careful, I don't want you to fall. But you'll have to wear 2 hats in the sun, and you'll have to brush 2 sets of teeth twice a day. You won't be able to wear t-shirts anymore, and you hate button-up shirts, Quinn. He said, Mum, I love it. Oh, but people are going to stare at you and they're going to tease you and call you names, Quinn. Think about it. And Quinn said, Mum, what people think about me and what people say about me, that's none of my business. You taught me that. The Sandwich Fairy started to clap. I'm so proud of you, he said. I realised I was really proud of Quinn too. Alright, so you're happy with this? Yes, both heads nodded. Well, what do I call your other head? I asked. Do I call him Quinn as well? Quinn stopped and he looked at his head and his head looked back at him. They both smiled and then Quinn said, Nah, let's call him Sandy. And with that, both boys picked up the rest of the sandwich and gobbled it up as quick as they could. And that's the end of the story. Sometimes adults say, eat your crusts, you'll get curly hair. Or eat your crusts, it'll give you hairs on your chest. Or eat your crusts, it'll give you big muscles. I want you to know that there is no scientific proof that supports their claims. And I give you permission to say, actually, there's no proof. One day my taste buds will change and I will like crusts. So for now, please respect my own tastes. And please give me my sandwich without crusts. Hope you like the story. More coming soon. Do you want to say goodbye?